Hey friends, it's Awkwardly Random with Cinthya and Michelle, where we talk about random topics.
Anything and everything awkward is on the table, so let's dive right in.
Hi everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back. Yo, this is literally how we look when we record our podcasts.
Yeah.
We do these through Zoom.
Except we look a little nicer right now.
A little bit for y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Awkwardly Random with Cinthya and Michelle.
This is a video.
This is the video portion of the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, and the actual episode, but this is the first time that we're showing you the visual and the video of it that you will be able to find on YouTube.
Yep. Everything else will be on Spotify or like Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
So you can still get it regularly.
Yeah, for those who don't know us, which I'm sure you know us if you listen to this. I'm Michelle.
I'm Cinthya. Hi. There's people that do listen that don't know us. Because we can see like which areas in the world people listen to us, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, do you know this person from this state, or do you know this person from over there? And I'm like, I don't know anybody. Like, I don't know who is listening.
Who is located.
Places.
Yeah.
So either way, we appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
And give us, take it easy on us. This is our first video.
Yes.
But we're gonna record like we usually do, a regular podcast episode. And then we'll see. We're trying to explore with our YouTube channel, kind of expand outside of just the podcast. Yeah. So we'll keep you in tune with that once we figure out more details.
Yes.
Sound good?
So sounds good.
You good, Mish? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm just a little awkward. I'm probably gonna get this off, bro.
Okay. No, girl, we gotta show them the real authentic. This is how awkward we are.
Yeah. All right.
Today, what are we gonna talk about, Mish?
Well, we're gonna talk about, first we want to review or just talk about this incredible, amazing movie that I saw recently.
Work of art.
Yes, it's called Judas and the Black Messiah. And I had told Cinthya, to watch it so we could talk about it on the podcast. So yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts. What did you think about it? Do we want to like talk about what it is for the audience and then talk about our feeling for it?
For real. Some of our reactions. Yeah. Because I have some thoughts about it too. Yeah. And I had heard of it. I feel like I wish it would have been hyped up or advertised a little bit more, because it did come out in theaters. It is in theaters still, in certain select theaters that are open. And it's also on HBO Max. That's where they premiered it too. That's where I watched it. But it came out this year, and it's a drama, I guess. It kind of gave me that thriller vibe too. Kind of like suspense, but it's a film about it's surrounding Fred Hampton, who was the chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, and everything that kind of happened leading up to his assassination, and the betrayal that the betrayal he experienced from an FBI informant, William
O'Neill.
Yes, William O'Neill. Yeah. But they called him Bill, right? And that was like his nickname.
Yeah, Bill.
Bill. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was almost forgetting his name. Yeah. So I don't want to spoil it. So that's just kind of like the general, unless you want to add something about it, Michelle.
No, I think that was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. If people haven't watched it, definitely go watch it. It was just such a powerful, it is a powerful movie.
Yeah.
And just, I love that type of storytelling. Not just like the dramatics but like how truthful they were to history. Right. So, this actually happened in US history. And I didn't actually know about Chairman Fred Hampton before this film, sadly and unfortunately, for many reasons.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was very moving, very powerful, and there's just like a lot of layers to this.
Oh yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, immediate things were like I had like a range of emotions throughout watching it. You know, I felt it was a story, well, it is a story of like struggle, pain, suffering, trauma, but also one of community, organizing, resilience, all that kind of stuff. And then also again, a story of betrayal, right? So I thought it was really interesting, that whole parallel with William O'Neill being portrayed kind of like as Judas, who is a disciple that is famous for betraying Jesus. That's kind of like the premise of that. Just very interesting that they had that parallel. But yeah, Daniel Kaluuya, who is the actor that plays Fred Hampton, was amazing. Oh my gosh. For those that don't know, he's the guy in Get Out. He's in Black Panther, the Marvel movie. And I was watching this interview with him, and he said that he took lessons from an opera singer to help him like really accurately capture Fred Hampton's ability of navigating a space, as well as like really portraying his cadence accurately, both when he's speaking naturally with, you know, an everyday conversation, and then also giving a speech. Because it was just, I was looking at videos of the actual Fred Hampton, and like the way he spoke
was the same. Basically, it was like, it seemed like the same person.
Yeah. And I got like goosebumps, like full body chills in the movie during certain scenes. And one was when he was giving that speech of, I am a revolutionary, right? You can kill, what is it? A revolutionist, but not a revolution. No, what is it? Yeah, right. You can kill the revolutionary, but not the revolution.
Yep.
There we go. Yep. And like that really powerful speech that he gave. So I thought it was well written. I thought like the I don't know, like the way they filmed it was really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like one camera shot type of things.
Yeah.
And also like, okay, this is another thought I had. It made me sad that we have to have another one of these types of films, right? And then the fact that it's everybody, I feel like for a lot of these movies, people say, oh, it's very timely, it's very relevant, and it's always been that way. Like it's always relevant. And if you think about it, like the Black Lives Matter movement today, and all this talk about and happenings of police brutality, I mean, it very similar to the 60s.
It's still happening.
It's still happening today. And it's like, it's a beautiful film, and I think we need more of these. But at the same time, it's like the fact that we do need more of these is, I don't know, it makes me angry, at least. And you know what, you get what I'm saying?
I get what you mean. For me, it's more of like, I get what you mean. It's more of me, I just see this as this form of storytelling of this story that needs to be told. And just like, yes, you can compare it to what is happening today because it is very relevant. But at the same time, it there's a lot of truth to it, and it makes me angry. Like, just the entire what makes me angry from this film is just you know, the power that white supremacy and you know, especially in the FBI, with the FBI, and the power that they had to influence this young Bill, because in real life, I think he was like 17 years old when he became an informant for the FBI. So obviously, like, the power and the manipulation and the fear is real. And
Fred Hampton was 21.
He was 21. He was young.
Really young.
Yeah. Which just speaks to his like power and influence, right? And I guess what I see from this film is just seeing how we can support. There are leaders right now in the US doing this work, and there are organizations who are doing this similar type of work. So I think, if anything, we should be inspired by this movie. As a person who is not Black, should be inspired to put in more work, to help and to contribute to these leaders and lift these voices up, because there are leaders who are doing this work right now that we can be supporting.
I immediately thought of Stacey Abrams, you know, and the organizing that she did, and what they were able to do in Georgia. And it's like, you can find a lot of similarities today for the good and the bad too, right? Like the good in terms of the leaders and the organizing and people coming together.
Yeah.
The bad in terms of like we're still facing these similar types of problems, right? This was in the 60s, right? So that's kind of what I meant by it made me angry. But at the same time, you know, you're right. And the way this particular movie was filmed and the story it told, like similar to you, I did not know who Fred Hampton was. You know, you hear about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Fred Hampton was not a name that at least I was exposed to. So
yeah,
like it was really cool to hear his story, watch his story, and like learn about him.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it still made me angry though, because the FBI killed him, basically. End of story.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I knew that he was going to get killed at the end of the film. Like that was that's not a spoiler, y'all. That actually happened. You know, that's part of the story and part of his narrative.
People will be like, you fucking spoiled it, bro.
I know, right?
Because it's history. It's like a real life story. So
so I don't know, it was powerful, and I encourage y'all to watch it.
I was so surprised
when hearing the story.
Just to finish it off, I was just so surprised to see the Rainbow Coalition that he was able to build with the Young Patriots, who are a white nationalist group, with with other just organizations, and the Puerto Rican organization, because of, you know, similar issues. Which just speaks to like the power of organizing, and just how much, you know, the FBI feared that coalition building, feared that organizing between people. So
that's powerful. I didn't know about the Rainbow Coalition either.
I heard about it, but it was just interesting to see like how. Because can you imagine that, right? Like today? I don't know.
That's some powerful stuff.
For real.
So what would you rate it if you could, the movie, out of 5 stars?
5 stars? 5. Yo, they better win some Oscars. They better win it all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
5.5 out of 5. It was really good.
It's a 10 out of 5.
For real. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that statement. All right, y'all. So let us know what you think of that movie if you watch it. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, or you can send us a message on our Instagram or Facebook. Let us know.
Yeah, comment below too if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yes. So shall we move on to the main topic of today?
Yes, let's do it. Okay, so this is a real turn of events versus like what we were talking about recently. So we're going to talk about a topic that I think is super relatable to a lot of people, especially now with COVID, or in general, not just today now with COVID, but in general. This is just like a topic that I think a lot of people can relate to. And that topic is dating.
Yep. Dating in general, dating in the COVID era. What does that look like? How has it changed?
Yeah. And I don't know if I have any answers, to be honest. I think I'm just going to be asking questions of Cinthia.
I mean, I don't really have much experience, but we'll share what
is the point of this? Just kidding. What is the point of this episode then?
I mean,
just kidding.
Yeah, it's just hard. It's also hard to like figure out how much to share and how much not to share, and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's still important to talk about, and I think we should still anyway.
Yes, I agree.
To start, let's differentiate first. What is a date to you, Michelle? How do you differentiate going on a date versus hanging out with somebody? What do you think?
Okay. I'm like a grown ass person now. Like I'm a full blown adult, and the fact that I can't even answer this should say something. I don't know. I'm wondering if our listeners think the same thing. I wonder what y'all think, what constitutes like a date or hanging out. For me, I would say just like at the initial making of the plan of getting together, whether I was romantically interested in another person, I think that's what would make it a date. And if it's just a one-on-one thing,
right,
then I would consider it a date. If it was just like a friend it was just like a friend that I considered someone a friend that I didn't have any romantic interest in, then it would just be a hangout.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think the main thing that differentiates is the intention behind it, right? Like if I'm going on a date with you, it's because I'm interested in the possibility that we may be romantically compatible. If I'm hanging out with you, it was because I like spending time with you in general. Like I enjoy your company, I enjoy your interactions, shared experiences, but that's like the romantic factor or layer is not there. It's just we're spending time together as two human beings, right? That's how I see it, at least, right? The intention and what is like, because if I'm going on a date, I'm like, okay, let's see, you know, this could go further, right? But I don't really have those thoughts when I'm just like hanging out with somebody, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought.
The only thing is that I feel like our listeners are going to be like, well, isn't that a date? Like, because you enjoy the other person's company. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of definitions. Have you heard in general, in passing, or like have other friends told you like, this is what it means, like when you're on a date, or like, these are the things that need to happen in order for it to be a date? Because I haven't.
Yeah.
I think with a lot of friends, it's different. A lot of people consider things differently. So it's just interesting to hear what other people think.
Yeah. I've gotten this several times. The question of, well, did he pay? You know, if he paid, then yeah, it probably was a date. But I don't really see those things as like definitive markers of what constitutes a date necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think the person.
Have you ever been on a date where you paid?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. But it wasn't the first date. I don't know if that I don't know if that plays a role or not, and I've been on dates where we split 50-50.
Yeah.
You know, I've done that before too. But like, I don't know, I've gotten that asked several times.
But for that question, is it specifically because you're heterosexual, so the man, so they're asking if the man paid, then that would be considered a date.
Yes, this is around that heteronormative, like, societal expectations of what it comes with, like dating somebody of the opposite sex who identifies as male, right? In my instance.
Yeah.
So yes, I've gotten that, like, did he pay? Did he open the door for you? Or like, I don't know, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Like small, like explicit.
I feel like you should be doing that in general. I open the door for people, like strangers. Like I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, that also goes, and this is a whole different topic, but that also goes with like, what are gender specific expectations of people, right? And you know, if a man, you know, if the guy is not looking at his phone and is actually paying attention to you, you think, oh my gosh, he's so great, right? When really that's like what should be expected regardless. Right?
Exactly.
So things like that, right?
Yeah.
But that question of did he pay has been asked in terms around that conversation of defining whether it was a date or not. You know?
Yeah, I see. So, I can see that, but I don't agree with that. But
no,
I can see that.
I don't either. Yeah. But I think, and I'm gonna own up to this, I probably did before, like a long time ago. But as I grew and just kind of like unlearned things and relearned other things, or like learned new things, I've developed, like, my perspective has changed over time.
Yeah.
But that, I think that was because also, like, in the past, that was what the conversation, that's what it was like when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like, did he pay? Did he open the door? Did he drive? I don't know, like things like that.
Did he drive?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Just anyway. Like the old school gender norm.
Yeah.
Heterosexual dating. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't follow that. I don't know if other people follow that. Also, I'm in a relationship, so you know.
Right.
That doesn't exist within my situation, but I wonder what other people think and what other people's experiences are.
Yeah. We're just sharing how we see it.
Yeah. So basically intentions.
Yeah. That's how I'm seeing it, at least.
That's how I'm seeing it.
Because I've hung out with guys, you know, just one-on-one, and it's like we're just hanging out. At least in my eyes, I see it as, oh, we're just gonna go hang out as friends.
Okay. Has there ever been at one point I can't even talk.
No, you're good.
Has there ever been a point where you were hanging out with a friend and then afterwards you then learned it was a date for them?
Yes. Well, not about the specific hangout, but I learned later on that they were interested in pursuing a romantic relationship with me. But I had no idea until later on. But we hung out several times one-on-one.
Yeah.
And we did different things. We like went out to eat, or we went to the movies, or we studied together. Like, you know, so I saw it as almost like you're like a bestie. I don't know, like just a really good friend that I enjoy, you know, spending time with.
Yeah. Damn, you friend zoned them. I guess we can go into that topic. Unintentionally. And to be quite honest and frank, I think that just because you go on a date with someone, that doesn't mean that other person owes you anything. You know what I mean? Yep. And it's totally fine to friend zone somebody and to not want to pursue a relationship with someone. So
yeah. The date is not the end all be all.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we should talk about friend zoning since we kind of mentioned it already.
Yeah.
Have you ever friend zoned or been friend zoned before?
Have ever friend zoned? I don't remember any specific details. But I feel like for me, I have always been super intentional about when since I'm, you know, heterosexual, I like men. So I've been always very intentional about making it very clear what my stance in, like, what I wanted with somebody when it came to men. So I would, if I saw someone as a friend, I would say like, thanks, like friend, like I would use
thank you, buddy.
I would use specific language so they know like where they stood with me.
Yeah.
So I've never learned of, oh, like I had a friend and they liked me afterwards. Like that wasn't made known to me because they always knew where they stood with me. So maybe I did. I don't know. I wouldn't have knowledge of that. What about you? I guess, with this one person.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that I was friend zoning because I also didn't get any vibes from that person, or from my perspective, I didn't get any vibes that they were interested in something more, right? All our conversations, we never really talked about any of that, or, you know, it was always about like movies and, you know, what homework do we have? Because we were in a lot of the same classes. So it just, I don't know. I never felt that from that person. And so maybe I did friend zone, but I didn't know that I was friend zoning. I thought we were in this zone together.
You thought you were in the friend zone together?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I mean, it happens, you know, it happens.
It's fine. And I'm not a mind reader, y'all. You know, I know that you can pick up on certain cues and things, and like some people show you, you know, with their actions or with certain things that they say that they're interested. I was completely oblivious to it. I didn't know.
Yeah. And they didn't flat out say it to you too.
No, they did not.
Man, take this as a learning lesson, y'all. Like, speak up.
And then as far as being friend zoned, I probably have been. I don't remember the exact experience or instance or situation, but I remember the feeling of being friend zoned.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Dang, bro. I feel like it might have happened to me when I was really young, but I don't remember any details of it. I mean, but I don't know.
It happens.
I got nothing. I got nothing juicy. Yeah. I'm sure it has happened to me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know if people heard our earlier episodes, but we did talk about just growing up and what we thought about dating and relationships in middle school and high school. And I was not looking ever to be in a relationship during middle school or high school. So I'm sure I friend zoned myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I kind of did too. I mean, I never thought about pursuing anybody, you know, when I was younger, right? I reached a point where I was like, what, you know, do I even like people? You know, it was like this weird feeling.
Yeah. I was just learning about yourself. Same.
Dating, it wasn't really in my radar.
Yeah. And if you're young, like younger and listening to this, like you don't need to be in a relationship if you don't want to be.
Yep.
And that was something that I learned when I was young because I didn't want to. And I saw all my other friends and people around me getting into relationships. And I just didn't want to or wasn't ready for it. And I finally, as an adult, learned that that was okay, you know?
Yeah. And that's okay at any point, I feel. And, you know,
True.
not only if you're younger, but I think it's important for young people to understand that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a very good point, Mish. Okay, another question. Is it possible to get out of the friend zone? Like if you're interested in someone, do you feel like it's possible for people to get out of the friend zone?
The way movies work. I'm just kidding. I mean, in the movies, we do see that happening. I don't know anyone in real life that has actually been able to successfully get out of the friend zone.
I bet it's probably happened.
It's probably happened. But in general, I think, at least for me, when I see someone just as a friend, you're probably going to stay a friend forever. Like by probably, I mean 100%, you're going to stay a friend forever. So for me, I wouldn't see that happening. For other people, it might happen. I don't know. What do you think? Can people get out of it?
Well, I don't know. It depends on the situation. Like, because I feel like there's also this notion of when someone is, and especially if someone tells you no, or someone explicitly is telling you, I see you as a friend, you know, I feel like that should be respected.
Yes.
But then there's some people that will like keep going. Like they have this drive to like change their mind, you know, and convince that person to like them back. But you can't force somebody.
You can't.
And yeah, I mean, if they see you as a friend, that's most likely going to stay that way, right? If you already have interacted and showed them who you are, I don't know. I mean, I don't recommend changing yourself just to be with that person.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it depends.
It depends. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's people that are friend zoned, not because that person doesn't like you or whatever. It's more of the situation or the timing is not right. Right.
Yeah.
So there's a whole myriad of things that can happen for people that are getting in the friend zone. So I would say kind of like you, it depends. Like,
yeah, but I do think, yeah, I think it's different versus like when people start off as friends.
Yeah.
So like, for example, just like a little quick story on me and my boyfriend. So me and my boyfriend started off as friends. That doesn't mean we friend zoned each other, or maybe it does. I don't know, depending on your definition.
Right.
But we started off as friends, and as friends, we became closer. And then that's when like feelings of like romantic feelings grew between us. So I mean, that could be that, then I don't know. But I didn't, when I met him, I knew I was interested in him, and I pursued that. But I wasn't necessarily jumping at the idea of starting a relationship. It was more like, I want to get to know you.
Right.
And then that it developed into a relationship.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would be considered putting someone, like we would put each other in the friend zone and then it was a relationship, but
yeah. Well, because I see it as if you're being friend zoned is because you are interested in that person, but they are not interested back romantically.
True.
Right. Yeah. So if you both viewed yourselves as friends from the beginning, I don't know. I don't really see that as you friend. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. That's hard. It depends.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Depending
Basically,
on the definition.
It depends, y'all.
That's going to be our answer for everything.
Yeah.
It depends.
Look at the movies. I'm just kidding. Don't look at the movies.
Don't believe everything you see, y'all. Yeah. Okay. So I think we should also talk about online dating, especially because it's been such a prominent thing during the pandemic.
Yes.
And I feel like just COVID in general has dramatically changed like dating culture. Okay. I don't even know where to start with this. Dating online is tricky. It's uncomfortable. It's difficult. It can be fun.
Yeah.
But you got to be really safe with it because you're matching with people you've never met before.
Yeah.
You don't know. And
be safe, y'all.
Yeah, that's going to be the first thing I want to say is like, yeah, be safe. If you decide to meet with somebody in person, I encourage you to meet in a public place.
Mm-hmm.
I encourage you to let at least one other person know where you're at,
mm-hmm.
you know, to make sure that you are safe. That being said, dating online, it almost feels to me that it's like the only option right now. Like it's
because
just
of COVID.
Yeah, it's just so hard to meet people because our lives have changed. I mean, with the shutdown, you know, it was hard for people to go out to eat or go to the movies, you know, like more like quote unquote typical dating things to do with somebody.
Yeah.
So it's been, I feel like that's, from what I've been feeling, feels like the only option, unfortunately.
Yeah. You haven't gone to the store and be like, hey, I'm just kidding.
And that's hard too, because you don't even know, not that the face is the most important thing, but like, you know, you can't really see their faces.
Yeah.
You can't see their face through the mask. And no, do not put your mask down.
Yeah.
You know?
That was a joke.
But yeah, I don't know. And then like to go on a date with somebody during the pandemic, and I've done it like twice.
Yeah.
So far, it's required some pretty intense mental calculations. Because
what do you mean?
Because I have to weigh off the risks, right? Am I going to risk my health and the health of others to meet with this stranger who I've never met before? And, you know, like, is it worth the risk, right?
Yeah. For coitus too.
Yeah.
I know people have made that risk, and I'm like, do you, man? Do you?
Yeah. A shout out to the Big Bang Theory. Coitus is another term for sex.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, I feel like that adds another layer of consent, because now, like, I want to ask that person, like, how serious are you taking this pandemic, right? Are you hanging out with other people? Are you partying? Are you wearing your mask? You know, and now more currently, have you been able to get vaccinated, right? All of that kind of stuff. I recommend y'all like set those expectations up right away.
Yeah.
And have that conversation before you meet with that person. But yeah, I feel like in general, it's just it's just a strange experience.
Yeah. So you said you've gone now on 2 dates during COVID?
Yes.
Okay. And overall, how would you say those were? How did they go?
Pretty well, I would say. Both.
Like, did they look like their picture, first of all?
Oh, yes. No, I was not catfished.
Okay.
I've never been catfished, but I know that happens a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah. But no, they look like their picture, and based on like what they wrote in their bios and profiles or whatever, it was pretty accurate to what they were saying on the date. Again, you don't know for sure, right? But it seemed genuine.
Yeah.
Nice people. The first one we went for coffee outside, right? So that was
it cold?
Nice.
I'm like, was it cold?
No, it was not that cold. This was like months ago, like before the winter hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And this other one was nice too. I mean, nice vibes, wore a mask, right? It was very safe. I felt safe.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was able to, like, it was just nice to meet up with somebody and be like social with somebody.
Yeah.
In a different setting outside of my house, right? Like, it was just nice to get out for a while and just like hang out with people, I guess. Well, it was just one person, but like it was just nice to have that social interaction.
Yeah.
And while also minimizing the risk as much as possible.
Yeah. So what apps do you use? And which ones like would you say you recommend, and which ones people should stay like away from?
Well, I've actually really only used Tinder.
Oh.
I don't really know about the other ones necessarily.
Okay.
But again, that one is, with any app, it can be sketchy.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful about it.
Yeah.
And be safe, and don't do anything you feel uncomfortable doing. But
yes.
So I've had a mixed experience with it. Like, I've had some like weirdos and creeps. And then I've also had some really nice, like, how are you? Tell me about yourself, that kind of stuff.
Weirdos and creeps. Normal people. Damn.
I've gotten the full spectrum.
That's a range.
I've gotten the full spectrum, y'all.
Okay, what is the weirdest, creepiest things that you've gotten and that people should stop doing?
I've gotten some cheesy ass pickup lines, like as the first text that they send. Sometimes it can be cute, but sometimes I'm like, like I don't know.
So it's a hit or miss for you. Depends on your mood.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm not like the cheesy type of person in general, so I don't know. Sometimes it makes me uncomfortable.
I feel like you can be sometimes.
I feel like I can be, but it's not really my
you
thing.
Aren't. Yeah.
In general, I'm not.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten like the people that are just looking for sex, basically, right?
Coitus.
Looking for coitus.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I guess.
So, but I explicitly let them know, like, that's not what I'm interested in, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I'm here to look for, right? So,
yeah.
So I've gotten the range of that kind of stuff. It's been weird. That's very weird.
That's weird to navigate, especially right now with everything. And
there's still people that will message and say, come over tonight, right? After like 2 messages or whatever. You haven't met yet. And especially in a pandemic, I'm like, nah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna have to say no to that. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. So just be careful with what, with how much you share, and careful with your responses to that person. And, first and foremost, you have to put yourself, your health, your safety and your health first.
Yep.
But some weird people.
Good luck with everyone in their ventures, because it sounds very difficult, and maybe we can talk about it more
but
on here.
This is something I wanted to ask you, Mish, because and we hadn't talked about this really before, but it's hard for someone, and it can be, well, I'm not saying it's hard for everybody, but it can be hard for someone to be single, I guess, and alone maybe during a pandemic. But there's also the part where you are with somebody and you have to quarantine with them.
Oh my gosh.
24/7, right?
Yeah.
Like that's can also be hard, I feel, but everybody's experience is different, but I can also see it as like a beautiful thing, and sometimes it can really make relationships stronger. You're like, nah, girl.
It is. It's both. It's everything.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, like, being single is hard, but also quarantining with your partner may also have its own experience too.
Yeah.
So if you're comfortable sharing, your experience with that.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, everything. It's great. It's amazing. It's beautiful, but it's also kind of annoying sometimes, just because in terms of, when the pandemic started last year, my boyfriend and I, Jesus, we were living together in our apartment in Minneapolis, and that was fine. Just because it was bigger than our apartment now here in New York, in Brooklyn. So just being able to have our own spaces, because although, yes, we love being together and spending time together, we also have our own like jobs and our own interests. So that helped a lot in terms of like being together during quarantine. Right. But it was awkward when, not awkward, but it was just having, at that time I was in school. So I was like busy the entire day, and then I worked part-time. And he worked his 9 to 5. So can you imagine just being in an apartment, but not actually spending time together for those hours? Wow. And then coming afterwards, so it kind of still felt like we didn't really actually see each other during the day. It was only after in the afternoon where we saw each other because of our schedules and stuff. But so, I mean, in general, it's just you spend so much time with that other person too. So if you're not used to other people in terms of like you notice more things about the other person when you're constantly all the time with them. But I think Jesus and I had this healthy separation in terms of like separation. We had this healthy schedule that where we weren't spending every single moment together, which made it even better when we were done with our day, we're done with our work. We could just chill, eat dinner together, watch whatever it is that we wanted to watch together. So
yeah,
I think it's different for people who actually have to work together or like work like super close. Because in our apartments, like I said, we were able to separate ourselves to work because we had to get our work done. But I can see where certain arguments may happen where, you actually have to work in that same space. So like if
right,
imagine if there was like a smaller apartment and we had to work both in the living room,
right,
then I could see where like that may start some arguments. But
yeah,
for us it wasn't bad, it was good. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
What would be your advice for people in that situation that they're quarantining with their partner?
I would say respect each other and your boundaries. Sometimes people like being alone or others don't. Either way, you should respect other people's boundaries, support each other, because just because you're going, just because you're together and maybe they're not going to work or you're not going to work, or like physically, they might still be dealing with things from work that are stressing them out, or they may need support. So just being also just communicate about whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever it is that you're going through, like actually communicate it. That way you can each support each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, have your, like, yes, it's good to have shared interest and thrive and do things together, but then it's also okay to do your own thing. Like for example, Jesus and I, we love watching movies and TV shows, but there's certain shows where he just like would not watch. One of them being The Big Bang Theory, and I like watching The Big Bang Theory.
Me too.
So that's okay, like it should be fine. So, and I also know that another thing during quarantine is like figuring out what to watch as a couple. That can like we don't really have any problems, but with that one, it can be a little difficult because we just it just depends on the mood, and there are so many options. We have HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu, Sling, Paramount, CW. Like there's so many options. So when it comes to like narrowing it down,
is it like a mix between you each know what you want to watch and you're kind of disagreeing, or like you're both like, no, whatever you want to watch, no, it's all good, whatever you want, like, is it kind of that? I feel like I would be that type of person to be like, oh no, it's fine, we can watch whatever you want, it's all good, but really I'm like, but I actually want to watch this.
Really? No, I think Jesus and I know what we want to watch, and it's just kind of convincing the other one that they want to watch it. Very similar to like when we have figuring out dinner. It's just like we both know what we want to eat. It's just like convincing the other one to
and
eat.
Michelle, you're very good with arguments. You're very good with like stating your case. So do you kind of get more of your way sometimes with the movies? Is it kind of like 50-50?
It's 50-50. I think we rotate. We take turns. That's the only way we can settle it.
Yeah.
It's like, I went last time, you go this time. Or like there's one time where I was watching, I got Jesus into what is it called? Family Chantel on E. Oh, that's like a sideshow of 90 Day Fiance.
Okay. Nice.
And I don't know how I got into that show, but then I knew that their family, so Jesus and I started getting to 90 Day Fiance just because there is no drama in our lives. So like we love the drama in other people's lives. So we got hooked onto that one. And then we realized that there was a spin-off show with one of the family.
Yeah.
That were super, like, there was a lot of drama in their family. So we were like, that is our show. So sometimes there are shows and movies that we're both just like, it's this one, like we don't even have to like talk about it, like we already know.
Right that makes sense.
Yeah,
that is so funny.
It's hilarious.
And you like Jersey Shore, right?
Oh yeah, we both love Jersey Shore. We're just like, we love really good movies and shows, but at the same time, like we really like trashy reality TV shows too.
Yeah, I'm a fan too.
I wouldn't say trashy. I think they're entertaining.
Yeah, I would say they are too.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I wanted to ask you too. I know you and Jesus did long distance for a little while. How, and it might be different now. You're living together, but in a pandemic, I can only imagine that's also even harder. But like, how do you make? How did it work for you, and how, like, what would you tell listeners who are in a long distance relationship? Like, what are some tips that you would give of how to make it work? Because it sounds really hard to me.
It's hard. It's so hard. I think what helped was that during like the beginning of our long distance, we were both in college, so we both had our own schedules. You know what I mean? Like we both had to go to our classes and get our work done. So it helped that we had things to do during the day, to not focus on the fact that we were apart. So that helped, like having your own like schedule and having your own goals that you want to reach and working on those every day, whether that is school or a job or maybe something else. I don't know. So that, and also just, again, communicating. We would have scheduled times where we would have dinner together through Skype, or maybe study together because we were both students, so we would legit study together.
Nice.
Or you know, we would have a scheduled time when we could visit. I know with COVID that may be hard now, but with things opening up, maybe you can schedule that. So we would know, like, okay, we would see each other maybe once a month. And we would schedule that in advance. That way we would have something to look forward to, not just like, oh, I really miss you, and like, I don't know when I'm going to see you again, but you actually know when you're going to see them. So then you can work through that, you know, because I know it can be difficult. And what else? And yeah, just being like, not just with communication and scheduling, I mean, just like being very open about like feelings. I know in general, it can be lonely, or it can be, you know, sometimes I've talked to other people who have gone through long distance and there may be trust issues. And that is, I think, a red flag. I definitely think that people, if you're in a long distance relationship, you need to have trust, like period. And in any relationship, you should have trust with them, you know? So if you don't have that, if you don't have that trust for each other, and you aren't honest with each other, and you don't have any communication, that's not going to work. So definitely have those three things, like, and be also very clear on where you stand with each other, and where you want to go with each other. That was made very clear with our relationship. But like I said, all these conversations can be hard to have with someone. And I would say that long distance isn't for everyone, and it's totally fine, but just understanding that.
This is important to talk about, because I think a lot of times people go into relationships and it's, you don't really consider all of the things that come into play here when it comes to being in a relationship, and especially with long distance. Like, I feel like sometimes we go into situations with our mind saying like, oh, it won't be that bad, we'll make it work, right? And it's good to have that optimism, but it's also important to be realistic about, okay, this might not be the easiest way to do this, but maybe it's the only option we have right now. So we understand it's going to be hard, but let's consider these things to make it work, to make it easier for us, right? Make it more manageable.
And then and understanding like maybe how long that long distance will last. Like, is it gonna last 5 years, 4 years, 2 years, one, like a lot of people can only maintain that for a period of time. So for us, it was in college. So after I was done with college, like, I worked, and then I knew I wanted to go to law school, and I knew that, you know, maybe I could go to law school in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, where Jesus lives. And so that was is what I decided also.
So that's good. I mean, you know, it's important to have those conversations about, okay, we're in long distance
now. The future
now,
looks like.
What are your plans? What are my plans? You know, can we make this work together? Somehow combine our plans in a way where we each still fulfill what we want to do with our futures, but still be together. It's important conversations to have, y'all.
And it was nice also just having a partner be very supportive, how Jesus was, in terms of like, this is where I'm at, I want to go study abroad, I'm going to go study abroad in Rome, which I did. And then I'm going to work for a law firm after college, which I did. And then I want to go to law school, and like, he supported me with that, and coming to New York and moving over here, and like, he definitely supported me with that too. So also just having a very supportive partner is important, but also just not just like receiving that support, but also like giving that support back, because this is a partnership. At least when I look at my relationship, I look at it as a partnership in terms of of our support and our love and our attention to each other, and it should be equal, you know?
Right. Yeah. Wow. Those are some great tips, Mish. Hopefully this helps y'all.
But yeah, like a lot of these are easier said than done. I'm not saying that like my relationship is perfect. I don't think any relationship is perfect. I just think it takes a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of communication.
Yeah.
And just being on the same page.
Right. And I think across from like my experience and your experience, like it's very different, and just like being single versus being in a relationship, all of that, I think the main thing for both of these situations is to be upfront about your needs, your boundaries, your beliefs, whatever, you know, like make sure you communicate that upfront in the beginning so that you both know where each of you are coming from, and then you can make that best informed decision to move forward or not with the relationship, right? Like I think in any case, it's important to communicate that and be upfront about it.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Yeah. So I would say that's the kind of like one of my main takeaways of this conversation.
For real.
Before we end our conversation, Mish, I think, do we want to share our awkward story, our awkward moment, dating moment?
I wouldn't say dating for me. I still kind of cringe at
it is kind of cringy.
I guess we can share it. And I can like bring in my 2 cents about it. But do you want to go ahead and share our awkward?
Yeah. So Michelle and I
story.
So when I was a freshman in college, I went on, I would say it was a date with somebody. And I didn't know you that at the time, like I knew of you, right? We talked about this, that we didn't actually become friends until sophomore year. So sophomore year. Yeah. But I knew who you were, but I didn't know you necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just kidding.
So then I went on a date with this person. Awkwardly enough, it was on Valentine's Day. Didn't really.
Get it.
I swear, honestly, it didn't even register to me that it was Valentine's Day. It was just like, oh, I want to hang out on Friday or Saturday, whatever day it was. And it just like fell on the 14th. Right. At least from my experience. I don't know if that person, if he had
really
to be Valentine. Okay. Honestly, it just wasn't, it didn't register to me.
Even if it did, it's okay.
Yes, it is okay if it does, if you do plan a first date on Valentine's Day. I'm saying for me, because I feel like that just makes it more awkward for my situation. Like,
ooh, I think it's juicy.
It was just kind of awkward in general, the whole date. But lo and behold, years later, I find out. Do you want to tell them what I find out, Mish?
Yeah, that I, in high school, attended a school function with this person.
Yep.
And I say attended because I wouldn't consider that a date what I went on. Mm-hmm. But I guess other people and like society would maybe view that as a date. But yeah, I just think it's hilarious how
it was the same person.
It was the same person, but years later.
Yes, years later. But that actually goes into the topic of like when people date a person that your friend has gone on a date with or has dated before, right?
And like dated as in like relationship dated.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Yes. Or gone on a date with that romantic interest at play.
So it could either be dated or relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how does that make you feel? Like if it were to be in your situation, if someone dated somebody if a friend of yours dated somebody that you dated.
That's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
that's fine. I mean, I think it depends on the person. I think it really just depends on the person and the friend. I think for me personally, I would be fine. Just because me being where I am right now is completely different than where I was in all my other previous relationships or the people that I've hung out with or dated, whatever you want to define them as.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it would be fine. I think it also, in general, depends when it comes to other people, because I know other people who might feel very differently than me and be like, hell no. I know other people who would be other friends who would be like, no, you don't do that. That's like girl code, or, you know, codes in general, like where you just don't cross that line. And I completely understand that. But just for me in general, you asking me that, I have no problem. What about you?
No, yeah, I mean, I would be fine. Like, that doesn't really, again, okay, here's the thing. I haven't encountered that situation before, so I don't know necessarily what my answer would be. But I feel like there's all these like unspoken societal, like social rules that are just, they're just there. And you're kind of expected to follow them, but they're not really talked about. And one of them, I think, is those like codes, right? Of, you know, you don't date your friend's ex, or like, you know, but I think it depends on how each person, like how each party feels, and what their specific situation is. And I feel like maybe it's just a hypothetical. If I were to have been with somebody for a prolonged period of time where that relationship really had an impact on me, you know, and then later on a close friend of mine dates that person, maybe it might be a little weird. But if they really like each other, I like, who am I to stand in their way necessarily, right? Like, it's not my business.
But as a friend, like, okay, say for example, you and I, right? Being as close of a friend to you, I feel like I would never be able to do that to you. Same. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like I would never be able to do that to you. And I feel like in general, other people have that mindset in terms of like, I could, like, if I would never do it to you, why would you do it to me? I feel like people have that same mindset, and like that's why people would call that girl code. So yeah, I mean, I think in general, there are these unspoken codes, and I think that one is one of them. But for me personally, I wouldn't care.
I would say if someone does decide to do that or whatever, like, have that conversation. If
that's gonna be one awkward conversation.
If your friend is open to it, you know, like if you are all open to doing that, then maybe. But if, I don't know,
that sounds messy. I feel like if a friend, if this was happening between two of my friends, right, and like me, I'm not involved, I would just be like, girl, there are other fish in the sea. Move the fuck on. Find somebody else. Like if it truly though, if it's between two people that I know that are my friends, which I don't know if it'll happen, but if it happens, like, there are just other options too. Like, and if, are you willing to risk your friendship for a dude?
Right.
Too? Like, that's another question. And like, how does that make you feel as a friend? Like, are you being a good friend?
Right.
If this friend is telling you, no, this makes me uncomfortable, like, there is your sign. There it is. You know what I mean? Or if they're like, oh, like, it doesn't bother me, it's fine. Like, hopefully, you know, that person is being honest. But yeah, I just think it's very messy. I would just not even go through that path. It's just like common sense. Find somebody else.
Yeah. And that's tricky because I feel like, again, our answer is going to be, it depends. But there's instances where people, like, you really like that, like, you just really like each other, like, you know, and then, but you have to consider your friend as well. So then, like, do you hold back on your romantic interest for, like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things here, not to justify any of it really. It's just, my point here is basically what you're saying is that it's complicated. And ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth all of this messiness?
Yeah.
And if not, then okay, move on to the next one. I don't know. Just do your thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Life gets messy, y'all. Like, make good choices. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I would say that too. But yeah, we just wanted to share that story because I think it's funny. Like, to this day, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
cringy. It's so cringy.
I never would have thought.
It's cringy for me.
Yeah, I never would have thought that would happen.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. That was our first video podcast.
Yay!
Our 21st episode, but our first video portion. I know, it's actually like, I'm kind of hot in here because I was a little bit nervous there. But we hope y'all enjoyed it. Let us know what you think.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Please subscribe to our channel. Yes, we now have the YouTube channel, obviously, and please subscribe, like, rate us on podcast platforms, comment. We want to hear from y'all.
Yes, let us know.
Let us know, y'all. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Have a good weekend. Is this going to be posted on a Friday? I don't know.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Yeah, just enjoy the rest of your day. We're going to leave it at that.
Have a good day.
Have a good day, y'all. Okay, right, we'll catch you at the next one.
Thanks. All right, bye.